Awesome. What is going on? We have Teri in the house. She's an active HAMMOQ user. How's it going today, Teri?
Pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, so kind of give everybody your background. Where are you originally from, and when did you kind of start reselling?
All right. For the moved to Hawaii right before the world event that has been occurring. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to say it. Um, lived in Chicago for 6 years. Moved from Atlanta, so it was a wrong direction, but the opportunity was wonderful. The weather was a beast. Paradise is much better. Um,
Definitely.
when we got here last year, I didn't have any idea what I was going to do. People thought, "Oh, you're retired now." No, I mean, when I'm 100, maybe if I'm too tired, I'll retire. But I needed something to do, and I just saw a commercial one morning for Poshmark, and I'm like, "That looks interesting." So I, dipped my toes in, and then I really liked it. Like they say, you start selling your own things, which I did. And then I thought, no, I need some more things. So I started going sourcing, which I really enjoy. I hate shopping, but for some reason, I really love shopping for this stuff because it's leaving. Just like I always loved giving things to Goodwill. Now I love getting them back, but for a different reason. So I started there, and then it just started gaining momentum. I started adding platforms. Recently, I dropped a few platforms because the time involved was just too much for the little bit of return, and I really wanted to focus on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. My goal is to have eBay beat Poshmark. So I'm working hard on it. So that's where I
Definitely. Very cool. I would even recommend Facebook Marketplace. Kind of give everybody what are you mostly selling as well. But we've seen Facebook Marketplace beat Poshmark and Mercari in terms of daily sales on average. So super interesting.
Well, yeah, and I mostly sell clothing, but I'm really getting more into shoes. I like
Mhm.
shoes for so many reasons. First of all, they're easy to photograph, and people like them.
Yep.
But I would like to be on Facebook Marketplace. However, being in Hawaii / paradise, for some reason they think that we don't have moving cars here or a postal service. So I cannot ship from Hawaii
Really?
or Facebook Marketplace. Every other platform I absolutely can. And like, for example, on Mercari, if I ship on my own, it costs the same. I always average this out before I set the pricing. It costs the same to ship to California as it does to Miami and to New York. So I've messaged them. Uh, they don't really have many people
The
that
best communication.
not
Yeah.
at all. I mean,
Not at all.
like not at all. So I keep putting it out there. I would love to play on Facebook Marketplace. Everybody, help me, okay? So again,
Definitely.
I've had a friend say, "Hey, what's Hawaii like? Is it? Do you have electricity and stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah. We even have, so I don't live in the sticks yet. I mean, I'm across the street from the beach, so I get things in the mail every day. So anyway, that's my story.
So like how hard is it to source in Hawaii? Because that's kind of the biggest complaint that we see. Like the people like, oh, in Hawaii, like, oh, I can't. Gonna give great advice. Like I hear a lot, oh, I live in Hawaii, I can't actually resell because there's nothing here.
Oh, well, first of all, I love a challenge, and I have a life. And anytime somebody says, "Well, you can't," I'm like, "Give me a minute. I am going to figure it out," and I did figure it out. I have ordered some boxes from uh, other sources who will ship here, and no problem at all. There are many companies who won't even offer me higher shipping to ship here, so there's that. Um, but where there's a will, there's a way, and there are thrift stores here, and I know the days for the discounts. Discount queen. And now I had a special birthday this year. I'm not ashamed to tell everybody. But now when I go to Goodwill, I say, "Is it Old People Day?" I will take a discount anywhere I can get one. So yeah, you just got to look. It's a little more hunting, but I have searched online other places besides my uh, bulk box options.
Mm.
You really have to just work at it.
Yep.
The key. So it works.
How is buying? I'm kind of interested in terms of like the local, because I was out there a couple months ago in Honolulu to meet a friend, and I was wondering, how have you picked up anything on the local marketplaces? Like Facebook Marketplace, obviously, since you can't ship, but have you bought anything on the Facebook Marketplace or anything local like off-road Craigslist?
You can. I haven't done it yet because I
Okay.
have so much inventory right now that I'm, you know, working through that I don't need that. I'm
Mhm.
open to it, and I'm really interested in trying some of the local estate sales and garage sales and like that, because they do have them, all through the last year's special circumstances. uh, None of that was happening, and in
Mhm.
fact local thrift stores were shut down hard for longer than mainland. And we still, as a matter of fact, well, I guess we had it right, we still have mask mandates inside. I just returned from a 3.5 week trip from the mainland to finally hug family in person. And it's a little more lax there, but I did do thrifting at every location, and I filled our bags with shoes. And like, I know security's be like, I mean, how many feet does but I got all kinds of great stuff, and it was fun. I just kept my distance from everybody. So, but that's locally. There are some smaller thrift shops that are open again. Salvation Army. It's not. There's not as many stores like that here, but there are stores. Oh, there's Savers. You just again watch for the coupon day.
Yeah, because I wonder how those garage sales and estate sales are in Hawaii, because it's a big like retirement destination. So there's probably, and there's a lot, and if you live in Hawaii, you have to be socioeconomically above medium for sure. So there has to be some great items we picked up across like estate sales and garage sales across the board.
Now that's on my list to check out. And my husband, who doesn't go in the thrift stores with me ever, he's very supportive. He's like, I'll wait outside or I'll come get you. But he did say, I mean, I discussed it again this week. He did say he would take me. I'm sure he'll be playing Candy Crush in the car. But anyway, he will take to these things because living here, we have the one car. I walk everywhere, anywhere. I mean, I walk a few miles to whatever appointments I have. I don't care. I've always done that. So I have walked to the thrift store before with double bags on my arms, like some street lady, but that's
Feel
okay.
like you're homeless.
I don't care what they think. That's my deals. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of people who have money to afford living here, but there's the large community of more local or longtime residents who don't have the higher income. They live, in other areas that they can hopefully get a home. It is kind of crazy, the housing crisis, but so there are different sections not far away. I mean, Honolulu is like a huge jam-packed city on a
Mhm.
tiny little island. It's really
Yep.
not as big as you think. So it was like 1 million people on a small island. So sometimes I feel like they're all on the street down below on Friday night. you know,
Going out into the bars, yeah.
aloha. Yeah, yeah.
To kind of give everybody what's your plans for next year and the next 5 years in terms of reselling? What do you want to be in terms of maybe listing goal? Is it as a monetary goal? Kind of give everybody what you're thinking, and then how you're going to get there as well. Because again, I think your story living in Hawaii is so unique that not a lot of there's probably only a handful of resellers that do it full time that are in Hawaii. Which is, again, if anybody wants to move to Hawaii and have the beach life and go thrifting, you're still able to do it, right?
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, I mean, okay, I want to say one thing people say often, but milk is so high, $10 a gallon. I'm like, I don't drink milk, and it's not always
Yeah.
$10. So anyway, yeah. Well, my goals, it's steadily built over the last year. because I put concerted effort into it. And then I started seeing, just like everybody says, the more you list, the more consistent you are,
Yep.
more consistent your sales. And since they've always gone up every month, but since December, every month I've beat the last month.
Nice.
And in December, when a lot of people are selling new things and gift things, I'm like, I still found people who wanted good pre-owned clothing, and shoes and whatever. So my goal is to, right now I've been listing 100, 125 items a month and selling more. But so, that decreases the inventory. So I'm really ratcheting it up. And when I saw your service, I had been thinking of this. I didn't know how to get there. And I know there's other ways to hire virtual assistants, but HAMMOQ just seems to have all the details together that didn't make me think about them anymore. And that's what I wanted, somebody who could just research the comps for me, draft the listing, let me just review it, and then push it live. I would like to list at least 200 a month. 250 is doable, I think, but only because now I have the help.
Yep.
I mean, it was becoming a drag, the listing part, like everybody says. It really was. I absolutely love what I'm doing, but God, sometimes I'm like, it's not that hard, but it just takes time that I could be doing anything else, like sweep the floor. The door is open all the time and there's always stuff coming in, but that's my other life. So my goal, I would like to short term have sales about 4,500 a month. And I'm getting there.
Nice.
In a year, I would like to increase the listings even more per month and then see where we go. My husband is the multi-tab spreadsheet guy. And so he is very much into the details. And I am, as a former photographer for years, the artsy side, I'm trying my best to keep up. So I'll do all the grunt work, which I love, and he'll handle all the finances, but it's going well. He's always excited when I tell him what I've sold, how much it cost, and how much I made, because he keeps saying, and I know everybody knows this word, and I can't remember what it means. EBITDA. He's always like, great EBITDA. So I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm looking for that great EBITDA, whatever it is.
No, I love it. It's kind of interesting. Kind of hit on top of it. That the listing, it doesn't take, like you said, it's not difficult. It just takes a lot of time, and there's really no value add, right? If it's you doing it or somebody else, like your time is most useful to do on your own schedule or to go sourcing, right? Because that's where you have the expertise. That's what we're trying to shoot for across the board.
Yeah, and just in the short period of time that I have been using HAMMOQ, I mean, like almost immediately, even with the first couple of days of helping the VA tweak my style, which is not that needy, but you have in your brain, oh my God, this is the perfect way to do it. And they couldn't have been more receptive and happy to tweak. And so they did. And now if it's just a little thing here or there, I just send them a note and they respond, and that's cool. I am so low key and not micromanager. I just, but I tease with them while I say, so sorry, this is how my brain works, but it is like bullet point, dash, numbers, and that's it. I'm not shouting at anybody. This is how I work. I just have to do it on an outline. And so they are very, very helpful. And I've been assured that once I increase my drafts every night, they will most definitely make sure I have, if I need another VA to get them all done by the morning, they'll do it. And that, I really like the customer service and the response. So yeah.
First and foremost, thank you. That's a fantastic compliment. And again, we're trying to get better and better. Just wait, we have some cooler stuff coming out as well. So how is your shipping set up and your processing? Is it everything in the house? Do you have storage bins? I know. Can you talk about the shipping costs from Hawaii? Because I know a lot of people ask me that. It's like, oh, I live in Hawaii. The shipping is going to be astronomical, but I know USPS is going to be the same. But how about FedEx and UPS?
Well, first of all, I'll quickly check My husband teases, but I'm in like a cocoon in this tiny room we call an office. Tiny. But it's across from street from the beach. But like, here's my storage system right here. It is
Nice.
heavy duty racks, back to back. Not, I had them long ways first, but back to back so I can actually get around them. But it is like a maze sometimes. It doesn't matter. You can work right here. But the shipping from here, like Mercari, for instance, I am only offered the USPS option. I did for a time offer my own shipping so I could cut it a little, but unfortunately, they don't always back you. If anything happens in shipping. So I'm like, sorry, people, bundle it and we'll get a better rate. But if I ship on my own, I use Pirate Ship. And to be honest, it's about the cheapest. eBay, very often, I buy the shipping through them, and it's pretty much the same. I haven't noticed any overages. If there's ever a time when it's a little much, I just refund the people a couple of dollars. It's easier that way. But seriously, when I calculate shipping on my own, I calculate it from here to Miami. I've tested other locations just to see it is the same for the same weight to Miami as it is to California, which is, my first neighbor across the ocean right there, or to Georgia or to Illinois. So that's why I don't understand why Facebook Marketplace won't let me play along, because I've got a lot of things that I can sell. I'm willing and able whenever they're ready to open it up to the Aloha State.
Definitely. Hopefully they do sooner or later. And then what you talked about, you jumped off a few platforms that weren't cutting it. Which ones were they and why weren't they cutting it? And then was it just not worth the effort of listing?
Yeah, well, one was Vented, just as on a lark. That's it's been around for a few years, I think, but there's no fees, and so that's cool. But it is not unusual for a vast majority of items to be sold for $1 or $2. And I just, I sold enough, but for the extra time to cross list, because there is no cross listing service like Vendu.
Yep.
To put it on there, it was manual. I'm pretty quick, but that was more of a time suck. So I said, that one's gone. And then I was on Kittison and what's the other? Kittison.
Depop, Tracy.
Depop.
Yep.
I think Depop is very fun. I am not trying on anything. I am not modeling anything, and that's cool. Not everybody does, and I sold plenty, but again, time invested, not worth the return. And then Kittison as well. It took me almost a year to realize, oh, they need you to share closets there too. And I'm like, oh my God, that is taking too much time. So I did it for a couple of months straight. I just said, experiment time, let's do it. No, not really.
Not worth it.
Very nice people, but I said, okay. And I was afraid that the sales I made from those other 3 platforms would be a big gap the next month.
Not at all.
Because that time went into more listings. Excuse me, my giant hands, sorry. Went into more listings for my 3 platforms, which are more than making up for it. So I'm always afraid to change that, because it was like, what if I miss a sale? And then I really looked at the numbers, and I'll make up those numbers quite easily. So anyway, so I don't know.
It's kind of interesting, like with the cross-listing, it needs to be like this is what we're trying to shoot for on our end. It's like it needs to be automated complete, where it's no time, no effort, completely delisted and accounted for, to really make cross-listing a go-to thing that's going to change the game. Once that's done, then it's a game changer. But right now, no one's been able to solve. Hopefully we will, probably next couple of months, hopefully, but no one's really been able to make it fully, completely automated. And when that happens, that's when those 4 extra sales across 3 different platforms becomes really useful, right? And then it's just extra.
Well, that's what I thought. Currently, and you may know this, I have my VA list on Vendu for me. So I can look at everything myself, because I have it in front of me, and I just feel like there's one last look over. What if I miss that mark or whatever? So that's for me. But again, that was the biggest the time suck on those other platforms was how slow it listed it. It was obviously the information is already there in Bindu, but those two platforms are slower to upload anyway. Even if you do it on the phone, like on Kittison, slow, and people reference that too. It just takes, and I just can't wait for that, and it wasn't worth it. But yeah, I would be very interested if and when we get to very speedy, go ahead and click, do it, then I'm in. I'll do it. Why not? Because it would be worth every bit of my time if it was automatic.
Definitely. First off, we're running a little bit, almost running out of time. I'm gonna have 5 fast questions, 30 seconds to answer. I'm gonna spitball these, so they might be kind of off the cuff. So ready?
All right.
Favorite thing to do in reselling?
Photos.
Favorite location to source at?
Goodwill.
Nice. Favorite find?
A pair of shoes that I don't know how you pronounce it, Teri Frederisy or whatever. I was Google lensing a pair of shoes on the shelf, and it picked up the one below. I'm like, what? Those shoes flipped in a couple of hours for $130. So I'm like, okay, cool. I had no idea what they were. So
Nice. Biggest ROI on a flip?
That
That
well, Lululemon jacket.
Lululemon jacket.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
It was immediate.
Most excited thing for the next year in terms of reselling?
I want to see how many items I can list in a month and increase my monthly sales, of course. You know, our biggest goal is saving for our property on Big Island. So every time I sell an Old Navy shirt, I'm like,
I can feel the house, right? Like the whole mentality thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. First and foremost, thank you, Teri, for jumping on this call. We'll have this podcast up in a bit. And again, thank you for being a client, jumping on this call, and for your time.
Thanks a lot. It was fun. Appreciate it.
Sweet. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend as well. Bye.
Bye.